Week 2 is all about taming those Tigers. What are they going to do against the Bengals and Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase a little bit pissed off today on the game plan? Welcome back, folks. This is RGR Football. This is Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. We're going to give you the Chiefs game plan today for Week 2 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Somewhat in a state of disarray over there in Cincy. I know not everybody's shocked, but sometimes you get that way. Dan, I want to start right off the bat. Give me the biggest thing, the job number one Chiefs have to accomplish to beat the Bengals.
So in week 1, Zach Orr did not blitz Patrick Mahomes. He blitzed him 3 times. That was it the entire game. And the Chiefs gave up, I believe, 7 pressures on plays that were not blitz plays. So you had 7 pressures, rushing 4. This week against the Bengals, you have one job. It's one job. Protect Patrick Mahomes when the Bengals rush 4, because we know Lou Anarumo is not going to blitz Patrick Mahomes. He's seen that. He's done it. He's like, nope, I'm not doing it again. And that's where we're going to see. He's done a very good job against the Chiefs in game planning what they're going to do defensively. In week 1 against the Patriots, I know it's the Patriots, but their corners and their secondary played much better than they have in the past. And I know everyone's going to point to the stat of, well, the middle of the field, Rashee Rice should be open all day long because they were the worst defense against slants in middle of the field coverage last year. That's very true. But if you are letting one Trey Hendrickson get off the edge and consistently beat your left tackle, who, again, was baptized by fire in week 1, you're not going to have all of the time in the world to get some of these plays unfolded. So that's what we got to do here. We got to see Patrick Mahomes get protected when they rush 4, specifically on the Trey Hendrickson side.
Now, how do you want to see him do that? Is that a chip? Is that a tight end? Is it an extra offensive lineman? What's your preference?
It's going to be chips because they're going to run 12 and 13 personnel. Get him a little bit more help from your tight ends. At the end of the day, you're going to probably see Pacheco, Samaje Perine do a little bit of that as well. But I think ideally you want to delay and make that path a little bit longer so it's not as easy to get to Patrick Mahomes when you have a running back coming out there that you might be able to slip in between, Kingsley, or maybe even go around and loop around. So just make that path a little bit longer for him.
I like it. For me, job number 1 is very similar. It's all about the quarterback, right? You have to actually hit Joe Burrow. Pressure isn't good enough. Got a ton of pressures week 1 against a line that probably was not as good as you're about to face, even though there were some problems on both. But it comes down to actually making contact. He's already got a wrist injury. We know that he's coming back from it. Looks a little shook to me. Oh, Joe Cool, don't look so cool to me right now. So it's about rattling his cage physically. He can handle it mentally. I think he's proven that, especially against the Chiefs. Like, he's got enough confidence in himself and his teammates to get that done. You got to make contact. And that's about making sure that not only do you flush him up front with Chris Jones, maybe Turk Wharton, who put in a better game week 1 than I expected him to, but it's about actually coming through and using your length for George Karlaftis. Mike Dan a little bit, but this is a game where I think FAU has to step forward, not just in the basics of the game, but getting those long limbs somewhere flying at Joe Burrow. Hit him in the shoulder, hit him in the arm, hit him in the hands, and knock him to the ground. That's job number 1. If they do that, then that rattles the whole cage for what that offense can do. And prove when they only put up 10 points last week, they can be rattled.
The weirdest thing about that is that he was pressured 6 times on 35 dropbacks against the New England Patriots defense, and he was rattled. So what do you think Steve Spagnuolo's going to do? Like, that was the 3rd lowest pressure percentages in his entire career, and Joe Burrow was having trouble getting the football out to where he needed it to. Maybe that's comfortability. Maybe that's the players that he was with. He didn't have his normal 1-2. You don't have Tyler Boyd. Maybe that's making more of an impact. So I think you're absolutely right. And we should be able to get to him considering the weaponry that they have with Steve Spagnuolo and all the stuff they like to do.
I want to tell you guys real quick about Green Gridiron. They are our pals. If you want collectibles that are unique and are special, get in there and grab this guy. It's mini. It's perfect. It's got the visor. It looks like Mahomes sitting on your shoulder or maybe on your dashboard. I don't know. It's perfect. Use our link down below and you get those. If you want one of the big ones, you can get those too. Just follow our link and get all the goods. We appreciate you being with us, and check out Green Gridiron.
Let's get to the second point and stay on the defensive side. We would expect, right, Trent McDuffie to be maybe guarding Jamar Chase, right? I don't think that's going to be the case, specifically because when we looked at week 1, going from Jamar Chase against the New England Patriots, he was shadowed by Christian Gonzalez on 20 of his 28 routes. And Trent McDuffie was bumping into the slot a lot more than anybody expected him to. So he was playing in the slot in those dime packages, and it was Jalen Watson on the number 1 receiver on the outside, Rashad Bateman. So that's probably what we're going to see. 24 of the 37 routes that Rashad Bateman ran were against Jalen Watson. I think we see the exact same thing this week where Jalen Watson, who again stepped up in week 1, not just with that pass breakup on Zay Flowers down the sideline, but basically shutting down Rashad Bateman. Jamar Chase is a whole nother task, but he's shown that he's a gamer. He game in, game out. When the game's on the line, he comes to play. He's played against Jamar Chase before. He's going to be comfortable in that role. And I think that he's kind of the X factor for this football game because T. Higgins is not practicing. He's still not practicing. Even if he gets a limited session in today, Friday, when he does practice, when it's not going to matter. He's not going to be fully healthy. The one guy you have to stop is Jamar Chase, and Jalen Watson is going to be up to the task come Sunday.
I like your confidence. And I think he's going to have some backup on quite a number of reps with Brian Cook shadowing to that side as well. Because like you said, it's a single threaded attack at that point. And if they can knock that down, that's where they can make their money. I love that concept. And I hope that they come through because I want to see the physicality pay off. Chase is slippery, but if you can be physical with him, unlike what they have to do in reverse, I do think that that is a way to get the job done. Now, physicality is what I need to see for my second and the fourth of the game plan, folks. Make sure you like, sub, hit the bell, put your game plan down before. We're giving you 4 points. Dan's got 2 in. I've got 1 in so far, but we do this every single Friday here on this channel, so make sure you're part of Rogue Nation. For me, it comes down to let's be bullies. I'm tired of this back and forth. I'm tired of let's play nice and respect Joe and the offense and do all the stuff. I couldn't care less about their defense. Cam Taylor-Britt, sorry, buddy. I was a fan while you're at Nebraska, but your mouth's way too big for your butt to cover. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run down your damn throat. Run the damn ball. That's what they have to do. And you, Dan, have a great stat that I think really accentuates just how they can do that. What was it?
You guys remember the video that I did earlier in the offseason talking about how the Chiefs should be running more gap and power scheme? Well, it looks like Andy Reid listened to me a little bit. In week 1, they ran only 6 zone plays to 13 gap power run concepts against the Baltimore Ravens, who want to hit you in the mouth on defense. That tells you the Chiefs feel more comfortable in their offensive line to run gap and power. And specifically when you saw Noah Gray and Travis Kelce with their motion in and then counter off of that guard Y counter off of motion, they are going to be looking to establish the run in a little bit different ways, I think, going forward.
Let's be physical. It's like an 80s song. That's perfectly fine. Pacheco can handle it. You can supplement with Steele a little bit more than we saw last week. And I do think that P. Ryan in the past game still has that physicality to his game that he can bring. Wear them down. Use what you have and then turn the guys loose. Let Xavier go over the top. You've proven he's going to get some touches. And yeah, he runs pretty damn fast in a straight line. So let's get after it. Leave us your thoughts. That's our game plan for this week for the Kansas City Chiefs for week 2 against the Bengals. We appreciate you guys being here. Like, sub, hit the bell, hit us on the audio side as well. Go over to Draft Network to see Dan's work in writing. You can go over to NFL 33 to see my work in writing. I don't write that well, but you guys get the gist. It's going to be just fine. So thank you for joining us. Dan, last thoughts. You got a prediction?
I got one thing to say. The Ramondre Stevenson had 25 carries for 120 yards and a touchdown against this Bengals defense. And it wasn't just they ran a lot of duo. Chiefs don't run duo, but I think you're going to see them use different ways to get him involved. And I think he's going to be a big factor in this football game. I don't think it's close. I think the Chiefs win this going away 35-17, and it's not really close.
Okay, I like it. I have the same Bengals score 17. I have the Chiefs winning 28-17 and kind of taking their foot off the gas like Andy just might do. Let us know your predictions. Put them down below here, right? Hey, you never know, right? Check it out. Make sure that you tell us what you think in the comments here on YouTube. We appreciate you being with us. Have a great one, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.